What's up, everybody? This is Kendall, and we are here, and it's day 23 of 100 Days of Codes. 23 days of codes. Just make sure that's right. It's hard to keep track of all these days now. Yeah, 23 of 100s. And so we all know by now, and also we're in week 4 of School of Code Bootcamp, which brings diverse mix of people together into one place and teaches them how to become awesome programmers. So we are very happy about this. Um, with the 100 Days of Code, there's a few rules that we're meant to abide by. These are the rules of 100 Days of Codes. We have chosen to, for 100 days, to code at least 1 hour a day, keep ourselves accountable publicly, connect with the community of Twitter, and keep a daily log of progress like emotions and feelings and all that sort of thing. So that is what we've been doing for 23 days. Today's day 23. So, in each one of these, we always talk about sort of what have we been up to? What have we learned for the day? So today we spent some time learning about more about Node.js and about the power of Node.js. So lots of cool things you can do with Node.js. We started first off with sort of a review of sort of the intro stuff that we did, where basically you can make a folder by using npm init. You can make it's a bit like Git init, but it's npm init, and you can make it sort of node ready, so it can interact with sort of Node.js. This this runtime engine so that it can flow with, and then you can interact between JS files, or you can interact with servers, or there's all sorts of different things you can do with it. When you do this sort of npm init, then it initializes pulls this package called package.json, and then inside of there, you can add values, you can change things, and you can make it interact with the different whatever you want to interact with. What else did we learn about? We learned about things, and so we basically had one file called plants.js, and it had a plants array inside of it, and then we had another one called index.js, and basically we were meant to import the plants array from the plants file and then call it into the index.js. So imports, we use the command imports and exports. So export default plants, and then we used, of course, imports plants from, and then quote unquote, and then where the file is actually found. So it sort of calls that sort of thing. So that was super cool to interact with that, and then we console logged it into plants, and then the command line we sort of puts the nodes. So rather than other commands, when you interact with node, you put node first, just like you with Git. You put node, and so you put node and then index.js. So that was super cool. And we learned about sort of interacting with lots of different things, which was fun. We learned about how to interact with sort of the npm um, uh, sort of tools that you can download and those sort of things. So the things that Node can grab and you can interact with and you can use, which is really cool. So we use Camelize, and it actually made it where we Camelize letters and all cool stuff like that. Just trying to think the different things we did. Oh yes, then we span up. This was really fun. So then what we started doing is we started sort of spinning up servers. So obviously a server is on the back end, which is we're learning how to do. We're learning how to use Node.js to spin up back end things. So by that, what I mean is the fact that there is a server and there is a client. So essentially, it's a bit like when we put in HTTP, whatever it is, / index.html. It then it communicates to a server and it says, I want index.html. And it sends back a response and it says, okay. And that's what we were looking at today. Sort of, we would find a file name and we would have the directory there, and we'd say, with that sort of thing, trying to find the exact command again. It was like, oh yeah, it was get, right? We'd be like get, and then we put the directory in there, and then we would request, and then it would respond, and that sort of thing. And we could interact. We learned how to interact with servers. So create servers and spin them up. And all this is the power of Express. So we use something called Express, which is something that you can get. And Express makes interacting with Node.js really easy. It means you can spin up servers really simple. And then whenever you go to your browser, you can basically set the port to, say, for example, 3000. You can say app.listen, and then you could put in the ports. And you could put the port number as, say, for example, you could say 3000, right? Which is what we did today. And so then when you go to your browser works as like the client side, and you could make it then interact with localhost 3000, which is the port. So it will then be listening on that port for the information. And then it sends that information, and then it comes up onto the browser. So we span up the server, and then we viewed it in the client-side browser. So that was super cool, all through the power of JavaScript and Node.js. So it was a lot of fun. So we did things like, for example, declaring a variable like const express equals require, and then express, for example, const app equals express, and then smooth brackets, like it's saying first I need to use express, and then second it's saying, okay, now I want to use what's in express, and then it's saying, this is the port I want to listen on, and then it does what it does, right? We learned as well how to, in the package that comes, the package.json, you can also you can add in the scripts. You can actually make it to where you don't have to put in node and then index dot whatever the file name is. You could do npm start, and when you do that, then it starts the server itself, and it spins it up, and it makes it work. So we learned all sorts of cool stuff like that today. It was a lot of fun. We had some workshops around that as well, where we had to do the same sort of thing. There was one that involved, I think it was like Harry Potter, and there were different books in it and that sort of thing. And we had to call those different books and create a new sort of more information, like a new object that we had to pull. And so and we had to basically create different paths. So for example, you might have the root file, which is a /, and then you might have another path which you wanted to get from, and that was / and then let's say books, right? And then that books one, there was different information to what there was in the root path, right? Which makes sense, like a website, you go to one page, you get certain information, you go to another, you get more information. So that's a little bit what we learned today. I know it was causing a lot of confusion for a lot of people. For me, I really enjoyed it. Me and my pair partner got along pretty well with everything. I quite like this stuff, so it seems to be falling into place. That's not saying that it will tomorrow or the next day, but for today, it seemed okay. I seemed to get it. Seemed to be interacting with it. So my thoughts is that although there were some challenges, I felt pretty okay with everything. I kind of like this sort of stuff anyways. I studied a bit in AWS, and I studied a bit of, I did some CompTIA stuff. So I have a bit of an understanding of some of these things, and I've seen JSON files before. So it wasn't entirely new, but it was nonetheless, I learned absolutely loads. And so I feel really grateful and thankful to the team at School of Code who have taught us amazingly well. We've learned so much in 4 weeks, more than I could have ever imagined already. And there's 12 weeks left. So I'm 12 and a half weeks left. I'm gosh, we're going to know absolutely loads. So I'm so excited about that. So my feeling at the moment is I am excited about what's to come. I'm excited to learn more. It's tough at times, but hey, sometimes we're on the mountains, sometimes we're in the valleys, but you know what? We keep going. We just keep getting excited about things. We keep just loving the challenge. We keep just pressing in. Keep showing up. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. And we keep going. So anyways, guys, that is day 23 of 100 Days of Code. Much love to you all. And I wish you the happiest of Tuesdays. Have a good day or a good night or a good whatever time it is where you are. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.